Hey everybody, this is John Eric Bentley, the voice of Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII, the remake, so many other projects, and more importantly, you are listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Yeah.
What's up, guys? This is Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii content creator, and I'm here to share some amazing news. Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast, is officially partnered, powered, and exclusively on Melon. Now, if you're looking to get started with not only a podcast, or if you're looking to do recording, both video and audio, if you're looking to have your own custom overlays, or if you want to start streaming, or you don't know where to start streaming or how to start streaming, and you just want to use your browser, whether it be on your phone or on your computer, hey, you can even use it on a Chromebook, then I'm going to tell you where to get started. Go over to Melon, use the link down below, and you can get started streaming in just 5 easy clicks. Super simple, everything you need with recording, broadcasting, and so much more. And it's so simple to set up and use, and I'm excited for you to try it out for yourself using my link down below, and you can see the difference for yourself. Get started today with Melon.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike. I don't want your advice, I don't want your opinions. It's not gonna be different from the ones I told to listen. I've been working on a bigger picture and y'all ain't impressing me. Hey, como said D, say shut your mouth, respect the legacy. Ain't no comparisons, y'all just embarrassments. All of my confidence is rooted in my heritage. Yo, and with Mendoza and Mr. Wild, we showing what this about. Phantom driving, your career is disavowed. What's happening, y'all?
What's up, everybody? It's Mekel Kasanova, host of this show, the Kasanova Podcast, the #1 podcast in Hawaii. I got a special guest, the one, the only, Ignant Rizzy. What's up, man? How you living?
I gotta start it right. I'm chilling. Thanks for having me here. Thanks for the invite.
Yo, of course, man. Of course, like, you know, I said it before we did the show, man. I had 2 questions people was asking me. Like, 1, are you just doing the reaction just because it's the wave? And 2, when you gonna have Rizzy on the show? I'm like, yo, I don't even know him like that.
That's actually crazy to me. That is actually wild to me. Like, I'm used to people asking me when I'm gonna work with certain people. I'm not used to people asking when they're gonna work with me. So being on the other side of the coin is like, what the fuck? Like, what reality is this right now?
Right, for real though. But it's trippy though, because people have this impression, like, especially when it comes to like YouTubers and content creators, they think we all know each other. And it don't be like that. I
swear to God. I swear. Like, especially within the KOF community, because it's so small and tight knit. Like, you can know who certain people are, but that doesn't necessarily mean you know that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's crazy too, because like I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like there's never been a time before where we've had KOF like get to the point where it's I would say with 15 it's kind of mainstream, but at the same time it's not, because it's not up there with Street Fighter.
Yeah,
but you know, this is the most marketing I've ever seen them push behind any of their game. Like, what we had KOF 14, Sam Show, a lot of marketing.
Yep.
This, a lot of marketing. I'm like, what's next? They about to bring back shit, what else they got? World Heroes? They got,
man, look, they bring back World Heroes. They bring back World Heroes or goddamn Last Blade.
Oh, dude, they gotta bring, man. Last Blade would be so dope to bring out right now.
Yeah. But I think the most, like, the only KOF game that had maybe this amount of marketing was All-Star, because mobile.
Yeah.
Like, they actually reached out to big content creators to promote that game. Like I remember seeing stuff from I think Justin Wong, Maximilian, Vampy Bit Me. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Then not to mention all the crossovers it has.
Well, that's the thing that was kind of tripping me out because like I seen people say like, how come like Street Fighter's collabing with AEW, and I'm like, it's because KOF didn't collab with WWE. They didn't cross over with Tekken. They crossed over with
DOA, fucking Gentoki,
right?
Gentama. I'm missing a bunch, but there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, that just makes me think, man. At some point, we're gonna be getting. We gotta get Capcom versus SNK 3. The way they're going with this is gotta happen.
I hope. There was a video that just came out a day or two ago where the guy was talking about, I forgot the guy's name, it was like Top Hat Gaming or something like that.
Yeah.
He was talking about what happened during the development of CVS 3. It's a really good video and gives a lot of info. It kind of debunks a lot of rumors. Like saying that Capcom and SNK had beef and that's why they didn't do it and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
It's, you really look at it too, like the biggest sign that we had that there could have been like a new CVS like in recent times when they re-released SNK versus Capcom, the Neo Geo one. I was like, what?
Yeah. That the signal going like, wait a minute, what? Like, hold up, wait. Okay, I appreciate this game, but you re-released the wrong one. At least do CVS 1.
Right. But all that being said, man, let's talk about yourself, man. Where can people find you? Let me remove myself. Go ahead.
You can find me almost everywhere. Twitter, Ignant Rizzy, YouTube, Ignant Rizzy, Instagram, Ignant Rizzy, Twitch, Ignant Rizzy. Is just same name all across the boards. So it'd be a lot easier to find me. Like no different names on anything.
Yeah, like it's so like how long you been doing content creating, man? I know you've been doing a lot of gaming, a lot of reactions. You're doing albums right now. You're going through the KOF albums for the different entries. Like, how did this journey begin? Let's talk about it.
It actually began back in 2013. I remember the first video I ever recorded was Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. And I remember I was tired as hell. It was like midnight. I'm tipsy as hell. I'm like, you know what? I just got this Elgato. I don't know how this shit work. My homie just put me up on all of this. I'm about to try to see if I can record a video. Did that. Deleted that shit like 2 days later. I'm like, I can do this a lot better. But I started out as a variety gamer. And then when the first Injustice came out, I got it from a mom and pop store over here. No longer open because all them shits are gone. Got it from a mom and pop store about a few days early. And I remember the first big video I had was Raven from Injustice. I did the arcade mode. And then people kept requesting it, like, do this one. Kept going with those. Fell off of doing content for a minute up until 2014 when Mortal Kombat X started blowing up. That was the first time I ever did a reaction because I know I wanted to lean more into doing fighting game content, but I didn't know how I wanted to go about doing it. So I'm looking at all of these other channels, and I had just really started watching Maximilian, and I'm like, he does these things called live reactions. Let me try to see how this works. And then shit just kept going from there, even to the point where I basically became a reaction channel with not just gaming, but just like random videos. And then that YouTube versus reaction channel started. I was kind of a part of that. But then I fell off of not even fell off. I just decided, all right, I'm going to just stick with fighting games. Like after all of that, I'm like, I ain't got the energy for this shit. And I'm not really enjoying it anymore. So was doing Street Fighter stuff, Mortal Kombat stuff. I did a lot of Killer Instinct, just a lot of random stuff. And then the first KOF 14 trailer was shown. And it looked like ass. It looked like ass. And a lot of people that know me know my history with the first KOF 14 trailer. Because that reaction I explained before was like a skit. I watched the video, but then I had a couch behind me that's no longer there. I put the camera on me, basically put a picture of myself dying, like laying down on the couch. It said Ignant Rizzy, birth year to KOF 14. The reactions to that were so mixed. They were like, oh, this game looks like ass. What the hell is this? And other people telling me, yo, just wait until you see how the game looks and how it plays and yada, yada, yada. It started progressing, started looking a lot better, and now I'm a part of the KOF community. And then 15 happened, and here we are now.
Man, I remember, I remember seeing your reaction, and I remember when 14 came out, and that's... Okay, S&K, we love you, but what the fuck was that?
Yo. Yo. Especially coming from 13?
Yes!
Yeah. We have been playing 13 for I forgot what year it came out on console, because I was playing it on Xbox 360 for a few years, and we all thought that's like the best looking fighting game that you can possibly make, especially as far as being 2D. But then we saw 14. Like, nah, this ain't it.
and as much as like I remember, because I got the collectors, I was like, man, I'm gonna support S&K because Capcom's on that trash. And Street Fighter 5 was rough.
Yeah. And I really liked SF5 at the start, but it was rough as hell.
Like it really just came down to just doing target combos and that's it. And then like you didn't have enough characters. You bought the collector's edition. You got the damn statue, the game, and that's it. I'm like, I don't get the season pass. I still gotta pay for the season pass.
Damn. Yeah, it started with what, 16 characters?
Yeah.
And then once the first season pass came out, we're looking like literally all of these characters should have been base roster because they're all returning characters. It's like, why is Balrog DLC? What the hell? Why is Ibuki DLC? What is this?
It didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing. And then when because KOF 14 came out that same year, and I know we were all ragging on it for the graphics, but I was like, yo, it got 50 characters though.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the time frame where I was actually sold on 14 because I think they had a few exhibitions, and I'm looking at the gameplay. Okay, this looks like ass, but it looks fun as hell. Like, all right, these graphics ain't it, especially before the lighting upgrade that they did later down the line. I'm like, okay, this looks like shit, but I can probably get with this.
Yeah. And it is messed up too because a lot of people's first impression of KOF 14, it's just that it's the ass graphics. Like I was on one of my boy BlackOni's stream a couple months ago, and I was talking about KOF 15. He was like, "Is it gonna be looking like KOF 14?" Because that was rough. I was like, nah. Yeah, like, they did a patch. He's like, wait, they did a patch? A lot of people don't even know that. Because
exactly.
They didn't market anything.
Nah, they really didn't. All the marketing was just on Twitter, and that was it. It didn't really go any further from that. You basically found out about it from other media outlets like event hubs, or if anyone decided to actually cover all of the stuff that they were dropping at that time. But there wasn't a lot at all.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was how was it for you going from playing like KOF 13 to 14? It was, I know for me it was rough because one, the gameplay got sped up, but I just felt like the flow wasn't there because it felt like when they added it to the point where you could just press one button, just press that and do combos,
that messed me up.
I was like, yeah.
that initially messed me up. But I had played so much stuff before that had auto combos. So I played a little bit of Persona 4 Arena. So I'm like, okay, I gotta reprogram my brain to not hit AAA or whatever, just like that game. But coming from 13, I didn't play a lot of 13 at the time. So going into 14, it wasn't that much of a shock or a change or anything like that. But it was just the fact that the execution was a lot easier. Than 13. There was that, and they took out a lot of the fun stuff, like the HD combos. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm a little more limited in this game. I'm not that experienced at the time. I'm not that experienced in KOF to begin with. So let me see what I can make work for me. And I found my team, made that work, and just saw a lot of crazier stuff later down the line, but it still was nowhere near as crazy as KOF 13.
It felt like, especially like if you play certain, like, okay, I'm gonna say this. I hope people don't take it the wrong way. Every time I play KOF 14, I'm playing somebody down in South America.
You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong. Because there are barely lobbies. I know Hell Pockets in the whole Game Goon squad, they run a lobby every Thursday night, I think. So I don't know. The thing is, I don't know where people are playing from. Like
I assume, because whenever I go online and I play somebody, I'm like, we'll see how good they are. And then when I'm like, I didn't even get to press a button.
Like, fam, let me play the game.
I'm like, what? I'm like, you're probably from Mexico.
Like the thing, and that was the thing with KOF 14, since so many people dropped off of it. You know, South America loves KOF, whether it looks good or not. They're gonna play regardless. Like, that is their game. Like South America or Central America and certain parts of Asia, but they're gonna play regardless. But the only problem was the online was trash in 14. Like, I played mostly with my friends online, and the connections weren't that good. But my problem with playing my friends was that I was the only one that liked the game enough to keep grinding with it. So I was better than, like, I was at a higher level than most of my friends, but trying to progress from beyond that, it was a little bit harder, because it was either you were like at a basic level or you were like God tier. There was no middle ground to actually learn what you're supposed to be doing or how to do certain things at the level that you are.
And, you know, I felt like, I don't know if you feel the same way about it, but I felt like 14 didn't have a lot of defensive options, because when somebody got you in the combo and they were doing that string, you just put the controller down. You done.
You could try to roll your way out or blow, like, do a blowback while guarding, but there's not much you can do, and it's not like Just Defend did much for you. I still don't really know what Just Defend did for you in 14.
I don't
like either. You just flash. I'm like, where's the benefit?
That's what I'm thinking. Like in 15, with it having like Shadow Strike, I think that's really going to be something that's is going to give it that flow it needed. Because I felt like when we were playing, 13, we were playing. One of my favorite KOFs is KOF 11. But 11, 13, 2002, 98, 97, it felt like a real good flow. Like if you knew your character, you could stand a good chance of winning. Whereas 14, it just never felt like that. It's like, no, they especially you play CPU on the higher difficulties. You start those strings, you're done. But with Shadow Strike and all the other options that they're adding in, plus how they reworked the EX system, I'm like, this.
Like you have a lot more options from what it seemed like right now. Like you still got your rolls, you still got your blowbacks, but with the Shadow Strike, you can do that in between certain strings or between certain block pressure. So you have a way to get people off you. Like my whole thing with Shadow Strike is I hope it just doesn't become a panic button, but it's gonna be at lower levels at the start. Like, people are going to be throwing that out there.
Do you think, like gameplay wise, with how because you notice how they've changed a lot of the characters. Like they gave Terry back his power dunk.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did they get? Not Yori. K-Dash looks like he plays more like his KOF 11 variation.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He has his forward B move back, his command move.
Yeah. So, like, do you feel like the speed of it? Like, for me, it looks like they kind of slowed the speed slightly down, but it's going to have like a good little flow to it. Do you feel like it's going to play closer to like classic KOF or 13, or do you think it's probably going to feel exactly like 14 did?
I feel like it's going to be a mix between, I feel like it's going to be a mix between 14 and older KOFs, because I did hear from numerous places, sources that did play at TGS, that it feels a little bit slower, but it looks like it flows a lot better. And I know certain characters seem like they're a lot better than they were in 14. Like Terry, for instance, he has his power dunk. His rising tackle is a DP again, like it was in 98.
Thank you.
Yeah, that actually makes Terry fucking scary as hell.
Right?
Like, yo, you can never jump in on this man.
Yeah,
who else was it? I can't remember. As far as the newer stuff that the older characters have, but K-Dash looks like he's really good.
Yeah, it took him for fucking ever to do that trailer.
For what reason? What reason?
Yo, okay, so when they dropped, I didn't even know K-Dash had a trailer. I remember when they announced Isla, and I was like, okay, cool. Stage looks dope. Music is dope. She got drip. Yo, her drip is insane. She makes Sinead look like a dork.
She looks really good.
And then, like, I'm over here like, yo, I'm going to go to bed. And I get the notification. K-Dash trailer, 2:00 in the morning. I'm like,
fam, what? It was like, yo, I remember that shit too, because I recorded my reaction to Isla the night before during the actual presentation. So I'm like, all right, it's late. I gotta go to bed. I gotta get ready for work in the morning. I got up the next morning. I'm looking on Twitter while I'm just chilling in my room, getting ready for work and everything. I see K-Dash's trailer pop up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, bruh. I'm like, damn, now I gotta wait until after work to do all of this shit. Like, whose idea was this? Japan, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, do I do 2 separate videos or do I just do one video? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just put them both in the same video. Whatever. Worked out regardless, but I'm gonna need them to not do that shit again.
Like, we didn't have no heads up. Like, they don't, certain things, like when they do, and I kind of wish SNK, like, say some shit on Twitter when you're gonna be doing some. Okay, so Sony State of Play, the recent one that they did.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was going to be part of it. That was
no one did.
indication.
Fam, I had no intention on watching that at all. Like, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch the PlayStation stream. I was watching Max, and then I saw this shit pop up. I'm like, excuse me? And in my Discord, we were talking about it. We was like the people in my Discord was like, okay, we probably get something at State of Play since we didn't get a silhouette or anything the night before. I was like, I doubt it. We're not going to get anything at State of Play. I was wrong as hell. Because SNK said not a word. They said not a word. Like, fam, at least with TGS, we knew what y'all were going to do there. State of Play, we didn't expect y'all to be there at all. No,
because they said that was supposed to be for like indies.
Yeah, like indies, and I think they say indies or third parties or something like that. But even still, SNK never really partake in things like that.
No. Like when I saw that, I saw people like tweeting about it. Oh, actually, no, I saw Wario64. He tweeted about it. I'm over here. I got my daughter, and she's about to go to sleep. And then he's like, hey, we're 15. I was like, what?
Excuse me?
Wake your little ass up. Let's go. You hopping in the video.
Yo, I'm like, okay, I just glanced at it while Max was streaming. Meanwhile, I'm over here scrambling, trying to get my whole setups together and everything. I had to put the dog outside. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need no interruptions for the next like 10 minutes. So you're gonna go outside for a while. Like, shit caught me hella off guard. But then it didn't help that they dropped the Dolores trailer that night.
Yeah.
Like they didn't give a silhouette or anything. It just dropped.
Nothing. Like it's just I want to know who the hell is over there at SNK doing the PR? You just suck. Give us a damn heads up. Yo, I was tripping at a lot of the I can dive into this because I feel like this might be a little controversial to say, but man, the whole like the mainstream like game journalist folks are over there like, yo, this game looks like a PlayStation 2 game. And I'm like,
while we still watching this movie, like we've been through this enough in goddamn 2015, 2016 with KOF 14. Why are we still doing this?
Just, yeah,
Like, okay, I can understand people want better graphics and everything. I just want better gameplay. That's all I ask for personally. Like the game can look like ass for all I care, like 14 did, or my other example, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That game played really well. Not everything needs to look like it came from Arc System Works to be a good game. Because that was one of the main things that a lot of people asked for. They want a KOF game with Arc System Works graphics. They want everything with Arc System Works graphics. But then I know a lot of other people were saying that KOF will lose its identity if it actually did look like Dragon Ball Fighters or Guilty Gear or something like that.
I think it would. I think so. I said something to my audience once before. I was like, yo, what would you guys feel like if we had a KOF game before they even showed us what 15 looked like? I was like, what if they brought back Shinkiro and the graphics look like real life or lifelike Shinkiro are in motion? And they were like, did they probably have to use RE engine? I'm like, they probably would, but it would be better than doing Arc System because there's enough Arc System Works games out there with that look.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Like as much as I do love Guilty Gear, and I have since I was a teenager, I don't need everything to look like it came from Arc System Works. I would rather feel like I'm playing a different game by looking at a different game or a game with different graphics and a different art style.
Would you say like right now that fighting games are more popular now than they've been ever? Well,
I don't know about ever, but they definitely are more popular than they were a few years ago.
Yeah.
Because I know I guess we got to attribute that to Ono with Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
But then, Capcom started falling off with Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and AVCI. But I am glad that other companies are stepping up and making the genre a lot more popular. Like, we have VTubers and all of these other people playing fighting games. Hell, we had fucking Elijah Woods from WWE playing Street Fighter 5 with Gutex and Mike Ross. Like, what?
Speaking of him, I whooped his ass in Soul Calibur 2. Oh no, Soul Calibur 4 and 6. When he came out here to Hawaii, it was 2019. They had like a WWE house show. And then he was like on Twitter, he's like, yo, we got any barcades out here? And like me and a couple other folks were like, yeah, we got one at Osayami Bar and Grill. And then he went over there and he was just kicking it with all of us. And like we got some matches in, play some Tekken, play some Soul Calibur, play some Street Fighter. I mean, he's good. I got the W on him when it came to Soul Calibur. But I mean, he's dope. Like I gotta say about him, because a lot of celebrities, they like, oh, I'm a gamer, and then what does that consist of? Fortnite. But no, he plays. Yeah. Like, so I give him props to that.
I call him Elijah Woods, Xavier Woods. I forgot the other name. I just like mixed the two
I was
up,
thinking the same thing. I knew what you meant when you say Elijah Wood. I was like, yeah, and then I was like, Xavier. No, because he goes back. He goes back and forth.
Exactly. But yeah, like you were saying, celebrities, when they do say they game and everything like that, a lot of them will normally play things like Fortnite, NBA 2K, Grand Theft Auto, Madden, like the more mainstream games, I guess you could say. Because I know, like Michael B. Jordan, he was talking about goddamn Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah.
We got. I think that was like one of the main ones. There was a UFC fighter that played Smash. I forgot his name though, but he was in a tournament recently.
Yeah, that was wild. Hey, yo, what did you think of Pokimane with the whole free MVC and doing the whole thing with Evo? That to me caught me off guard because I'm like, Pokimane?
That caught all of us off guard. But I don't necessarily hate it. I have nothing against Pokimane, regardless of how toxic her community can be and her past actions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, we don't need, as far as that goes, since she has a really, really, really big name as far as being a content creator, a live streamer, businesswoman, whatever you want to consider her. We don't need Pokimane, a content creator or a live streamer. We need Pokimane, the businesswoman, to help kind of push that forward. And her saying free MVC too, that's the one that caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying Pokimane owns part of Evo because the company that she works for has stake in Evo. I'm like, okay, that's one thing. But saying free MVC too, I'm like, what the fuck timeline is this? Like, who went back to the past and killed the fly? Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even notice it at first, but then I saw a Sejan reply to it. Like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
I'm over here like, yo, what life is this? Because I never, and it doesn't even seem like anything she would play. So like, I fully agree with you. Like, yeah, like we need her as a businesswoman. I don't want her. And yo, y'all can flame me if you want, her community. But I'm saying this, I don't want Pokimane's face on the front of Evo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, like, thank you for being half owner of it. Thank you for bringing attention to free MVC too.
Yeah.
But get behind the scenes. Don't want to see your face in front of it.
One saving grace, because a lot of people were against it. Like a lot of people were aggressively against it, saying, did she ever play a fighting game? Has she ever played Marvel 2? Does she know anything about the FGC? But I think everyone ignored the fact that Markman has something to do with that decision, because he tweeted something like that, like saying it's been in the works for months. So they at least have somebody that knows, or that's a part of the FGC that's working with her with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Markman's been around for the longest, so he definitely knows.
Yeah, definitely one of the OGs.
Yeah.
So now that that's going on with that, what are your thoughts on like esports and like the FGC? I know I've talked to a couple other FGC folks. A lot of them feel like because of the rise of like esports and how it is now, it's negatively impacted the FGC. Case in point being Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
But what do you think, man?
My whole thing with esports, I'm mixed with it because I like the fact that fighting games get a lot more exposure because of esports. But at the same time, I don't like how fighting games, not fighting games themselves, but how the companies try to cater to the more casual side of fighting games. Like they want everything to be a lot more simplified and things like that. They want to, I don't have a problem with this, but a lot of people do, censoring everything in fighting games and changing this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, I don't care what you do to certain characters. I just don't want the gameplay simplified. Because if you think that's what's going to bring in a more casual audience, no, it doesn't work like that at all. Because I know a lot of people were saying Street Fighter V, that was going to be the one to bring in casuals. No, the hell it did not. But then again, that was because of the way it was marketed.
Yeah.
Like, if casual players want to learn a fighting game, they're going to learn it, regardless of how hard it may or may not be. Like people saying, oh, doing these special moves in this fighting game is hard. Okay, but people like us, we can say building this shit in Fortnite is also hard, but you can do that shit in like you can build a whole fucking Trump Tower in 2.5 seconds. So, hey, that motherfucker just built the whole Eiffel Tower with like just sitting there. All right, you're protected now. That's always been my argument with that whole thing. Like, man, you got somebody right in your face with a shotgun just pointed point blank at you, and now you're above him. He don't know where you went, but you're looking down at him with a sniper rifle now. So yeah. I can't do none of that shit. That's what I'm saying. I can do a low forward fireball. I can do all of KO specials, whatever the fuck. I can't build the fucking tower in Fortnite to save my goddamn life. Even when I was playing Fortnite.
That's the shit that threw me off with Fortnite. I remember when it came out, everybody's like, hop on it. It's a fun shooter. And I remember like, okay, I can get on it. I can play this and play PUBG. Then when it had the whole building mechanic, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I couldn't get with it.
Yeah. Like, I played a little bit of PUBG. That's one of the only reasons I did try Fortnite. So I'm like, okay, I'm fine with just having a shoot, but if I gotta build, if I have to build to protect myself from getting shot, nah, I don't want no parts of that shit. I'm like, you know what? Call of Duty got Battle Royale. I'm gonna try that shit when Black Ops 4 came out. But man. Yeah.
I just, it's so wild to me, like how these companies are trying so hard to cater to like the casual market. I've said, I really have this strong belief, like I'm not against casuals getting into gaming or nerd culture in general.
Of course.
But this idea that casuals are going to be the ones that's going to sustain these industries or these games, it's not going to happen. They want to pop in, do something that looks cool, and be done with it, and they're moving on. Yeah, and that's just how it is.
It's not like the 90s where everyone's playing fighting games. So we're in a whole completely different generation. So it'll take a lot more work to get fighting games to the same level of, say, a first-person shooter or something like League of Legends or something like that. Even with the League of Legends fighting game possibly coming out, I don't think that's going to be as big as League of Legends itself.
Nah.
Because even with that, a lot of people said it's going to be easy because that's how Rising Thunder was and things like that. No one knows how it's going to play. Like, because there was a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, Project L is going to change the FGC. This is going to be the fighting game that's going to bring the FGC to the light. I don't think so. Because even with casuals coming in to play an easy game, that's still, like, the pros are still playing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a group of pros and a group of casuals and put them in the same game, a pro that knows the basics of fighting games themselves, of course, they're going to learn them a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that was driving casuals away. It happened a lot in Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh, God.
It happened. It was so bad in FighterZ. Because the Xenoverse players came over.
Yeah.
And they're
still over there like, yo, Xenoverse 3 win.
It's been...
How long has that game been running?
Years. I think it's been well over 5 years at this point.
Hold on. Yo, this game has been running since 2015. No, 14. Oh,
are you serious? Fam, I remember playing the Xenoverse 2 beta.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yo, that's wild. That is
actually crazy. But yeah.
Man.
Like, pros will definitely run casuals out no matter how easy the game is. If the casuals want to learn, they'll take the time to learn. If they don't, it is what it is. Can't try to force them to play with more simple mechanics. It doesn't really work like that. Even certain devs like the what the fuck is the name of that game? Fantasy Strike. Yeah. They were even saying that their game is simple, but you still need to know the basics of fighting games to get a full grasp on what you're supposed to do in this game.
Yeah. It's true. Like I actually interviewed the David Serlin, the CEO that made that game, and it's really good. Like I've reviewed it, I played it. It's a lot of fun. It's super simple. And when I was playing it against people who don't really play fighting games, because I knew the fundamentals, I was waxing them. Like it's so easy to do, and they're like, "Oh, this is not fun anymore." And that's why, like, there's a whole argument, like, with the people that are tired of Tekken 7 because of everything that they've done with that. They're like, "Oh, we need to bring back Virtua Fighter 5 or bring back Virtua Fighter in general." And then when 5 came back, Ultimate Edition, then a lot of people were hyping it, and then it fell off in a way because people who came over from Tekken were like, "Yo, this is too technical."
Yeah.
And like I'm looking at casuals over here, like I saw what's that girl? Like there's a girl who reacts to KOF, Molly the Bee.
Molly B.
Yeah. I remember she tried Virtua Fighter 5, and it was, for her, she was like, it's not beginner friendly. And it's just not.
At all.
None.
At all.
You pick one character, you spend a year, you don't talk to nobody, go to the basement, train.
Do not start with Akira. Whatever the fuck you do not start with that character. There are pros who still can't pull them just frame moves every single time. But with Virtua Fighter, because a lot of people that play Tekken 7 are really young. They didn't grow up with Virtua Fighter. Yeah. So when they actually tried it, it didn't move the same. It didn't feel the same. It still felt like an old game because it's a game from 2011 or 2012.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2009, 2008 or 2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it still felt like that. So a lot of people weren't with it. I know a lot of people, my sister being one, really got hooked on Virtua Fighter after that, especially with Tekken being so dry at the time. It was like, okay, we need a new 3D game. Oh, they're bringing Virtua Fighter back for free. I'm going to try this. Some people loved it. A lot of people, they dropped off of it because, for one, it was too technical. For two, online wasn't that good.
Did they ever fix that? I don't think so, did they?
They put out a bunch of patches, but I kind of fell off Virtua Fighter because I just wanted to play it for a little while. Because Virtua Fighter's not even my game like that, but it's fun. That's the only reason I play it. I'm not trying to spend hella years learning one character. but I think them not having great online messed up the marketing for that game.
Yeah. And it was also a test for them to see if there's a market for Virtua Fighter to come back. I'm going to be honest, there's going to be a niche audience for that, but it's not going to be mainstream. Most of the audience
is going to be in Japan for one, because that's where a lot of them are now. Like over here in the US, we don't really have a huge Virtua Fighter scene. Like I think there's one in Colorado, but I don't know where else is like really big like that. Like Tekken or how. I don't even know how big DOA got, come to think about it. So I'm not even going to bring that one up.
Bro, I'm so pissed off about DOA 6.
Yeah.
1 year, my guy. They killed that game in 1 year.
Literally killed it. Not like, no, the community stopped playing and the game died. No, they just stopped. They stopped.
They were like, you know what? We can't, you're not buying the game. You're not buying our outrageous DLC. Well, $150 fucking dollars for DLC. And it wasn't as good as DOA 5.
No, it really wasn't. It wasn't. I feel like there was not much different from DOA 5. They took out the fun characters, meaning the Virtua Fighter characters, I was mad about that because I was a Jackie player in DOA. Right. I was a Jackie player. I'm like, they took my dude out. I just ripped my goddamn headphones out because I'm mad at that shit. I can't hear shit now. Hold up. There we go. They took my man Jackie out. They added like super moves to the game, but that didn't really do much for the game itself.
Yeah. It messed up the flow because it felt like every fighting game was trying to implement that type of maneuver into it. I mean, it felt like a poor man's version of what they did with Tekken.
Yeah.
And it's like every fighting game doesn't need that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think it also depends on how it's implemented. I don't think it was that certain things were better in DOA than just doing a super, because I know you can start out the super, but you don't have to, finish it. You could just continue going into a combo. I know that was very beneficial, but I don't know how beneficial the supers themselves were in DOA. But then it didn't help that a lot of them looked the same. It was just like a few hits and then a final punch, and that was it.
Yeah. That was literally it.
Like there was not really a spectacle to it to really attract people to wanting to do them or wanting to see how they all look, because a lot of them look the same.
What are your thoughts on Smash Brothers? Is it a fighting game?
Yo,
I'm trying to get you in trouble.
The funny thing is, I started saying Smash is a fighting game after they added Terry. I was like, you know what? I don't care what y'all say. Terry's in this game. This is a fighting game now. And then I really started saying it after we saw Sakurai's presentation of how he used to go to the arcades and how he was in Iori main and all this other stuff. I was like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Like, he's an arcade rat, an arcade junkie. But I just consider Smash Brothers a platform fighter.
Yeah.
A lot of people consider it a party game, but I would just still go with the term platform fighter. Y'all can take that however y'all want. But I would say it's the best fighting game that we do have.
Yeah. It's trippy how, okay, it's trippy to me how, like, I didn't see Kazuya coming into the game, which is weird because Bandai Namco, they do help them make it, so I wasn't expecting that, but, like, it was trippy to me when he got announced. I was like, wait, what?
I thought it was going to be Heihachi, if anybody from Tekken.
Right? Or even Jin, but they brought him in. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then the thing that kind of got me, like, the Smash community confuses me because they want you to call it a fighting game. They want you to respect it like a fighting game. But they don't know, not all, quantifying, not all.
Quantifying.
Most don't know anything about fighting games. I've seen so many people cry and complain, like, I'm so tired of fighting game characters. Why are they in there? Why is
Yeah.
Like,
people complained about Terry's inputs hard.
Dude, they call Terry Pokemon trainer.
They call Terry another Ken with a hat, buff Pokemon trainer. I'm sorry, that shit was funny. Buff Pokemon trainer had me dead. That shit killed me. But yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. They want to be classified or be accepted into the FGC, but a lot of them don't really respect fighting games themselves.
Yeah.
Because I remember, oh God, okay. I don't know how much Smash content you actually watch. I only watched like a few of them, like Visu and Coney's another one. He was telling a story about how he had to he was on an Evo panel with Giona, I think Markman. It was four of them. They were talking about fighting games. Coney had no idea what he was talking about with anything. He had no idea what any of them were talking about because he doesn't follow fighting games. And that's how the majority of the Smash community actually is. Like, all they know is Smash, and that's it. as far as the rest of the FGC, they're pretty much in the dark with all of that. The majority of them, not like all of them.
Quantifying.
Yeah, majority of them don't play fighting games, especially the younger guys.
Yeah. They because I've seen a lot of people, they like when Terry came out, like you said, a lot of people complained about his inputs. They were saying it's too hard, he's too difficult. When Kazuya came out, it was and it's crazy because the FGC got hyped for that.
Yeah.
That brought in FGC players to Smash, and Smash folks are bitching about it. And I'm like, do y'all not know your man's, the creator, is a fighting game fan?
Yeah,
like
Sakurai is an SNK nerd. Like, man, that presentation made me so damn happy.
Right.
Then I think it did for all of us, especially how Terry was presented, spoke for us.
Yeah.
And being able to put him in a better light. This is why I was saying I want Sakurai to work with SNK now since Smash is done.
Yeah. Yeah. He needs to. Yeah, honestly, at this point, I like a lot of people like are already speculating about the next Smash. I'm like, it's not going to be as good as this one.
Even Sakurai himself said he don't think Smash can be done without him. And it was in a recent interview. He was saying he don't think they can do Smash without him. And I don't either. They would need someone, because Sakurai's pretty popular. They would need someone on his level to be able to get the caliber of characters that he was able to get. Who the fuck else is going to be able to get Sora, Sephiroth, Cloud? Man's really had, in the words of one of my friends, Sakurai convinced Square Enix to pony up 4 times with Hero, Cloud, Sephiroth, and Sora. Even with Sora, that's Disney. How the hell?
And people, I know a lot of people are actually mad with Sora. They're like, how come like Master Chief wasn't in it? How come Dante wouldn't? Okay, I can give it for Dante. Bayonetta's in, Dante should have been. I would have taken Dante over the fucking millionth Fire Emblem character.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
Ryu Hayabusa would have been dope, but
he was another one.
But Sora just made sense.
He made the most sense. He was the most requested character.
So I'm like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the what draws me into Smash at this point, like I play it, not a whole lot, but when I do play it, I just play Terry, Kazuya, Ken, Ryu. That's it. Because like their inputs and the way that Sakurai made it stay faithful to their franchises.
Yeah.
It just makes me just play them. Because when I play online, which Nintendo Online is dog shit. But
this is why I don't play Smash like that. I play it every once in a while.
Like when I was playing it online, or if I play it, like if I meet up with some friends and I play it with some friends and I pick Terry or Kazuya, I just dust them. And they're like, really good. Like we have tournaments here since restrictions have lifted up. We have tournaments over at a place called Osayami, and we had those, and I played Terry or Kazuya. I'm smashing folks, and these are people who like
actually play.
they play, and they're mad. They're like the fucking SNK character. Fucking
oh god, yeah. I never really got good at Smash. Like I play on an extremely casual level. So it was never just like.
Oh man! One of the last questions. I know we're respecting your time, man, but one of the other questions I want to ask you about is, what is it with the Street Fighter? I don't want to say the Street Fighter community, but I'm basically because Capcom ain't putting any other goddamn fighters out. When Darkstalkers coming out, I thought Darkstalkers is not dead.
It's so funny. Yo, first of all, shout out to Professor Thorgy. I don't know if you watch his content, but my man just did an incredible Darkstalkers retrospective. Man, like I said, man's made me want to play Darkstalkers. I was never a Darkstalkers fan. And now I actually want a Darkstalkers game to try to learn what the basics are, what everyone's supposed to do. Because trying to play now on Fightcade or anything like that, you would get dusted.
Yeah.
Like we play, we have a spot over here in New York City. Because I'm in New Jersey. We have a spot in New York City called OS operating system. It's a gamer bar and lounge, and they stream from there every once in a while. So me and some homies, we were streaming Darkstalkers around Halloween. And I'm like, this is the first time I really got deep into Darkstalkers and try to kind of like play it. I'm like, okay, this is fun as hell. I was never into this, but it's fun as hell. So now I'm just like, okay, yeah, when is a new Darkstalkers game? Like, let me get an updated Talbane and an updated Donovan and all these other characters. But keep all the goofiness, the silliness, and all of that shit in. Don't take out none of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep Midnight Blissing.
Yeah, like it just trips me out. Like when you look at Capcom, now I'm gonna get to the question, but you look at Capcom, you look at the fact that Street Fighter, is the thing that they milk the shit out of, and they don't. I mean, you got Street Fighter and Fortnite, Street Fighter with this, Street Fighter with that, and it's like, okay, cool, but there was a time when you thought of Street Fighter, you thought of pinnacle of fighting games.
Yeah.
You thought of the standard bearer. I mean, Street Fighter 4, what I think they fucked up was, why would you release Street Fighter Cross Tekken when Street Fighter 4 was in its prime?
Yeah.
Why?
Literally.
And Tekken 6 was, not Tekken 6, it was a Tekken
Tag
Tournament. Yeah, it just came out. That it did make sense. Then they released Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then a couple months later, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like,
yeah.
And Tatsunoko.
Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts, man, because that game was so good, but it was only on the Wii for one. Like, I never learned how to play that game properly because it was on the Wii. But yeah, I remember that timeline specifically. MVC3 came out February 2011. UMVC3 came out November 2011. Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out March 2012.
That's too short of a window.
Yeah. And then between that, I think they had Street Fighter 3 Online Edition, and they had Darkstalkers Resurrection. There was a lot coming out around that time. For no reason.
None. And it's like, with Capcom, with them doing that, I'm like, you're cannibalizing your own stuff. Like, you cannot have this many fighting games. We ain't in the 90s. We're
exactly.
not in the 90s.
Exactly. It doesn't work like that anymore.
We can't just go, okay, we're going to play this arcade game. Then we're going to go over to this machine. We're going to pop some quarters in. No, we ain't got, it ain't like that. Like, I know when all that was going down, I was on KOF 13, I was on Street Fighter 3 online, because that game, until they brought that out, there was no way to play it.
There was no way to play Street Fighter 3.
And it's like that, and then you had Super Street Fighter 4 was doing really good. And then
we forgot one. Marvel vs. Capcom Origins.
Thank you. That came out too.
There was a lot.
It also did.
Since you mentioned KOF 13, Blaze Blue also came out around that time.
Yep. Man,
there was too much going on. Like, it was really hard to keep up.
There's way too much going on. But so that's why I'm so mad about the Darkstalkers is not dead. Bullshit. Where is it at? Where? Anyway.
In the words of Giuna, Capcom, Street Fighter 5 is where Capcom IPs go to die. Once they become a costume, rip.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yo, so what I want to ask you, what is it with like Street Fighter 5? I'm just gonna say Street Fighter players, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 players, when you bring up, especially with Street Fighter 5 before the recent updates, patches, balances, and reworking of the engine. It was a game that anytime I talked to somebody, they constantly complained about how they hated the game, especially coming off 4. But if you were to bring up KOF, they just wouldn't touch it. And I'm wondering, is it too technical for them? Because they talk about how brain dead Street Fighter 5 was, but I'm like, go play KOF. Nah.
The funny thing is I haven't seen that, but
really?
I haven't seen anyone say that. But I know a lot of Street Fighter players do not want to mess with KOF. I doubt I don't know if it'd be too technical coming from Street Fighter 5, or the difficulty spike might be a little bit, a little more harsh.
Yeah.
Or they just don't like how the game looks. I think it's more so of that one.
Yeah.
Because I know
I would say like it looks like the way 15 looks is what it should look like for 14.
I was saying the exact same thing. KOF 15 KOF 14 should have looked like KOF 15. That's the exact thing I was saying. But I know a lot of SNK fans don't want to touch Capcom shit at all.
Yeah.
But Capcom, I think they just try to stay clear from the SNK fan base for the most part. And I don't know why. Like, it's one of those weird things. I'm like, okay, I haven't really seen myself, Capcom players, complain about KOF, but at the same time, I haven't really seen a lot of them show interest in KOF.
Yeah.
I see it more so from anime players, like anime and Marvel players. Like, okay, I'm going to try KOF. But Street Fighter players, nah. I think they just like the more basic, I guess you could say, the more traditional ways you got to fight in Street Fighter. Dog, what the hell are you doing? But I don't know. Maybe they don't think they get used to the movement or the extra mechanics or anything like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure it out because I think a lot of people would like, especially like if they went and play 2002 Unlimited match, like that one's really good. Go play 98 Final Tune, or if somehow SNK would make 13 on modern consoles with rollback netcode.
I wish.
They could print money with that one. I don't get that one. But
at the same time, I know a lot of the FGC during the pandemic were like aggressively against KOF 13 because of the trials, because that was the only thing that was being shown.
Yeah.
Like this trial is difficult. This game is too hard. Like, no, these aren't optimal combos. They aren't even. You can do better and easier stuff than this. This isn't what this game is. Like, sure, you can do some complicated shit, but you don't have to do this crazy horse shit that pros can't even do.
Yeah.
Like I know a bunch of them even said, no, like, I'm not doing this shit. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things that kind of threw everyone off. Like, it put it in a really bad light. I remember seeing all of that shit. Like, oh, really? Like, why are we doing this? Yeah. That was the thing.
Yeah. All right, man. Before we go, last question I got for you. What's coming up outside of KOF 15? What's coming up in gaming, music, movies, whatever? What's coming up in end of 2021, beginning of 2022? Yo, I'm tongue-tied saying that. What's coming up that you're looking forward to and why? And then after that, man, plug your stuff.
What's coming up that I'm most looking forward to? The main game will probably be Elden Ring, because I really like the Soul series. Hell, what else is coming out in 2022? Oh, I just remember, I'm a big fan of beat 'em ups and also a big fan of TMNT or Ninja Turtles. So Shredder's Revenge, that's probably a top priority for me aside from Elden Ring whenever that comes out.
Do you have the contact for them?
I don't.
Okay, I get it to you. Good. Continue.
Damn.
I got you.
Is there anything else coming out? I just looked at my goddamn screen and saw Tifa over there. So FF7 Remake Part 2, whenever that decides to come out, but I don't think that's anytime soon. But other than that, that's the main thing I can think of right now. I know there's a lot happening in 2022. I'm lying my ass off. God of War, fucking. I don't think Wolverine's coming out anytime soon, or Spider-Man, but those.
Yeah, I feel like Spider-Man is 2023 probably.
I think they did say 2023.
Wolverine,
What is you doing? What is you doing?
Yo, you wasn't lying. That's a damn horse.
Chill. And I got a muzzle right now so he can't bark and interrupt anything. So he's waiting for me to take this shit off of him. Okay, just sit, chill. But yeah, Wolverine, I don't think that's coming to like 2024.
Yeah, I can see that. So you like, you like beat 'em ups, man. Have you played? It's a fan game. It's made by my friend Magneto, but he's got some of the folks who used to make. I heard a door open. I was like, "Yo, is that my kid?" So he's made a game called Ultimate Double Dragon, also Legend of the Double Dragon, which is made. He made it, but he's also got some of the original Double Dragon team. It's got elements of Streets of Rage, elements of TMNT, and it's because it's not official, it's free. You should definitely check it out. I'll shoot you over
definitely.
The link.
Please do.
I'll shoot you over the link for that. I'll shoot you the contact for TMNT. And what else is coming out? I know they got the River City Girls too, which is cool.
That's another one.
That one's. You got a contact for them?
I don't have a contact for anyone.
All right, I got you.
Bad.
Anyway, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, like I'm shocked at how beat 'em ups have been coming back. Like that is something
am so happy. Like Streets of Rage 4, Streets of Rage itself is my whole ass childhood. So when 4 came out, I was all in.
Update, that Mr. X update, though?
The Mr. X Nightmare DLC, man, look.
Ooh.
Some of the best DLC I've seen in any game, come to think about it.
I was like, how did they go and make this game better? Like retooling combos, you can get new moves and shit. I'm like,
yeah. Lizard Q did their thing with Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, they did.
And then the DLC characters, like in Shiva, updated Max, updated Max and Estelle.
Yeah.
Shit was good. I'm just mad they didn't add an updated Skate, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
That one, that was a head scratch. You should have brought him back in Dr. Zahn. That would have been just do it. It should have been done. And also, we need a new Final Fight.
Yeah. Nah, take Cody's goddamn mayor suit off, put him back in the white tee and jeans, and let him go down Metro City whooping ass. What are you doing?
Yo, you gotta admit though, like Capcom been doing real good with like Cody, like his arc, the drip. When they brought him back in 5, like, I know a lot of people hate his gameplay, but man,
his story, that's what did it.
Yo, for real though. All right, man. Before we go, man, tell people where they can find you, anything you're working on, and that beautiful dog there.
Yo, chill. His name is Soul. He's legit named after Soul Bad Guy because I fucking love Guilty Gear. But you can find me at Twitter at Ignant Rizzy, Instagram at Ignant Rizzy, dog saliva all over my face. Ignant Rizzy on YouTube, Ignant Rizzy on Twitch, just Ignant Rizzy on everything.
All right, cool. All right, so with that being said, I'll leave links to everything for Ignant Rizzy down below. Make sure you go over, sub to his channel, follow him on social media, check out his streams on Twitch, and all that being said, thank y'all for coming through for once again another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, Kasanova Podcast. This podcast sponsor is actually Neat Mics. You know, it's made by the people who used to make Blue microphones. They went over and they started making their own brand. So it's Neat Mics under the Turtle Beach umbrella. So check it out. This is the brand new, not released yet. So y'all seen it for the first time. This is the Neat Skyline conference microphone, good for streaming, podcasting, and more. They got a whole lot more coming down. So use the link down below if you want to pre-order it. I get a kickback. It's how I pay my bills and get diapers and shit.
I swear to God.
Your man got to buy milk, god damn it.
Man, diapers too damn expensive. I ain't got no kids, but I got a couple nieces and nephews. And what the hell are you doing? He said, what you mean you ain't got no kids? I'm your kid.
Yo, man. Yo, with that being said, thank y'all for coming through, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope it was informative, engaging, and you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a rating and a review. It greatly helps out the podcast and helps the platforms that we're on go ahead and promote us more so that more people can check it out. And if you're wondering what all platforms we're on, aside from what you've listened to it on, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. And if you want to support the podcast, then we've got Patreon, so patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova, which allows us to continue doing what we're doing. If you're looking for this in video format, we're also available on twitch.tv/Mekel Kasanova, as well as youtube.com/Mekel Kasanova. So with all that being said, I'll catch you on the next episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast and the #1 podcast in the Pacific, the Kasanova Podcast. You have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.